Genesis, the future of luxury mobility.
What if the next big luxury SUV is not coming from Germany, not from America, and not from the brands everyone keeps comparing, but from Genesis? Because the 2027 Genesis GV-100 is not just trying to enter the future SUV segment. It looks like it wants to rewrite the rules before the competition even understands the assignment. This is the look at cars from the surface. We break down the design, the technology, the feeling, and the strategy behind machines that could change the way people think about luxury. And this GV-100 is exactly that kind of vehicle. At first glance, it looks like a beautiful luxury SUV, but the deeper you look, the more you realize Genesis may be aiming for something much bigger here. This is not just about a bigger screen, softer leather, or a few more driver assistance features. This is about building an SUV that feels like it belongs in 2030, while everyone else is still updating old ideas. Look at the way this vehicle sits on the road. It does not scream for attention, and that is actually what makes it powerful. The body is clean, long, smooth, and confident. There is no unnecessary aggression, no oversized fake drama, and no messy design language fighting for attention. Instead, the GV-100 carries itself like a luxury flagship should. Calm, expensive, and absolutely sure of itself. The front design is where the futuristic personality begins. Instead of relying on a traditional SUV face, Genesis appears to be pushing toward a cleaner, more concept-like identity. The lighting signature is wide, sharp, and elegant, stretching across the front with that signature dual-line inspiration. It gives the SUV a high-tech presence without making it look like a science fiction prop. And that balance is important because luxury buyers do not just want something futuristic. They want something futuristic that still feels mature. From the side, the GV-100 has the kind of profile that makes you slow down and look twice. The long body, the smooth panels, the polished wheels, the strong shoulder line, and the glossy wine-colored finish all work together to create serious road presence. This is not the kind of SUV that disappears in traffic. It feels like something designed to arrive quietly, but still own the entire driveway. And then there is the rear. This is where Genesis could really separate itself. The dual taillight bar gives the SUV a signature that looks premium even from a distance. At night, you would recognize it instantly. That is what luxury brands fight for: identity. Anyone can design a big SUV, but not everyone can create a shape and lighting signature that people remember after one glance. But the exterior is only the first layer. The real shock comes when you step inside, because the GV-100 cabin feels less like a normal SUV interior and more like a private lounge moving through the world. This is where Genesis has a real opportunity to challenge the old luxury formula. For years, expensive SUVs have followed the same pattern: big seats, large screens, leather everywhere, and a badge on the steering wheel. The GV-100 feels like it wants to go beyond that. The dashboard layout is wide, clean, and cinematic. The screen does not feel thrown onto the dashboard like an afterthought. It stretches naturally across the cabin, almost like a digital command center, built into the architecture of the interior. The driver gets the information they need, but the cabin does not feel overloaded. That is the key. Technology should feel helpful, not exhausting. The materials tell the same story. Soft cream leather, warm wood, metal accents, ambient lighting, and a calm color palette create a cabin that feels expensive without looking loud. This is the kind of interior where every surface matters. The door panels, the speaker grills, the center console, the seat stitching, even the way light moves across the dashboard, everything is designed to make the cabin feel special. And the rear cabin may be the most important part of the entire vehicle. Because if Genesis is positioning the GV-100 as a next-generation luxury flagship SUV, the second row cannot feel like an afterthought. It has to feel like the best seat in the house. And based on this concept direction, that is exactly where the magic happens. Imagine reclining rear seats with leg rests, soft head pillows, privacy shades, personal infotainment screens, a center control panel, ambient lighting, and a cabin so quiet that the outside world almost fades away. This is not just family transport. This is business class travel on wheels. Long drives become easier. Traffic feels less stressful. Waiting in the car no longer feels like waiting. It feels like sitting inside a private space designed around comfort. And this is where the GV-100 becomes interesting for more than just car lovers. It speaks to people who want status, but not in a loud way. It speaks to families who want space, but refuse to give up luxury. It speaks to executives who want calm. It speaks to tech-focused buyers who want a vehicle that feels connected to their digital life. And it speaks to people who are tired of SUVs that look expensive but still feel ordinary once the doors close. Now, technology is where this vehicle could become truly future-ready. A next-generation Genesis Flagship would need more than a touchscreen and wireless phone connection. It would need a full digital ecosystem. That means smart infotainment, advanced voice control, over-the-air updates, connected navigation, personalized driver profiles, smart climate control, and AI-assisted features that learn how the owner actually uses the vehicle. Think about what that could mean in daily life. You enter the GV-100, and the cabin already knows your preferred seat position, temperature, lighting mood, media layout, and driving mode. The navigation can suggest smarter routes based on traffic, charging or fuel needs, weather, and your normal habits. The rear screens can turn the second row into an entertainment lounge for passengers. The vehicle can update itself over time, adding improvements without requiring a visit to the dealership. That is the future luxury buyers are moving toward. Not just more features, but smarter features. Features that feel invisible when you do not need them, and incredibly useful the moment you do. Driver assistance will also be a major part of the GV-100 story. The future of luxury is not only about speed or silence, it is about confidence. Advanced cameras, sensors, lane support, adaptive cruise control, blind spot assistance, parking support, and semi-autonomous driving functions could make this SUV feel calm and intelligent in every situation. On a highway, it should reduce fatigue. In the city, it should help protect the driver from surprises. In a parking lot, it should make a large SUV feel easier to place. And that matters because big luxury SUVs can sometimes feel intimidating. They look beautiful, but they can feel heavy, wide, and stressful in tight spaces. A truly advanced GV-100 would need to solve that problem with technology that makes size feel effortless. Performance is another area where Genesis has room to surprise people. The GV-100 does not need to be a wild performance SUV to be impressive. In fact, the smarter move is refinement, smooth acceleration, quiet power delivery, strong all-wheel drive, confidence, and suspension tuning that makes the vehicle feel composed on every road. Whether Genesis chooses hybrid, electric, or extended range electric possibilities, the focus should be on effortless strength. This is the kind of SUV that should move like it has nothing to prove. Quick when needed, silent when cruising, comfortable over rough roads, and stable at highway speed. The best luxury vehicles do not constantly remind you how powerful they are. They simply make every journey feel easier. A future hybrid or electric direction would also make sense for a vehicle like this. Luxury buyers are changing. Some still want the freedom of long-distance driving without stress. Others want the quiet smoothness of electrification. The ideal GV-100 would not force one personality. It would offer a powertrain experience that matches the lifestyle of modern luxury owners. Smooth, efficient, powerful, and future-focused. Ride quality could become one of the biggest selling points. Imagine an adaptive suspension that reads the road, softens rough surfaces, and keeps the cabin level during acceleration, braking, and cornering. Add strong cabin insulation, acoustic glass, active noise control, and a refined body structure, and suddenly the GV-100 becomes less of an SUV and more of a moving quiet room. And that quietness is not just comfort. It changes how you experience the whole vehicle. The music sounds better, conversations feel easier, rear passengers feel more relaxed. Long drives feel shorter. That is the kind of luxury people remember. Practicality still matters though. A flagship SUV cannot only look good in a promotional video, it has to work in real life. The GV-100 would need generous cargo space, easy entry and exit, flexible seating, smart storage, strong visibility, and enough comfort for families, road trips, airport runs, school runs, business travel, and weekend escapes. The best luxury SUVs are not museum pieces, they are tools for a lifestyle. And this is where Genesis can win emotionally. Some competitors feel too familiar now. They are excellent, but expected. You already know what they are going to offer. The GV-100 feels different because it represents a brand still climbing, still pushing, still trying to prove that luxury does not have to come from the same old names. That gives this SUV a certain energy. It is not just about matching rivals, it is about asking a better question. What should a luxury SUV feel like for the next generation of buyers? Should it feel aggressive or calm? Should it be covered in buttons or intelligently simplified? Should it be loud about status or quietly confident? The GV-100 seems to answer with elegance. The exterior gives you presence. The interior gives you comfort. The technology gives you intelligence. The rear cabin gives you a reason to be driven instead of always driving. And the overall concept gives Genesis something every luxury brand wants but cannot easily buy: momentum. The people who will understand this SUV are not only looking for transportation, they are looking for an experience. They want something that feels premium every time they open the door. They want design that looks fresh today and still modern years from now. They want technology that makes life easier, not more complicated. They want comfort that feels personal. They want a vehicle that says they have taste, not just money. That is why the GV-100 could become so important. It represents a shift from traditional luxury to intelligent luxury. The old formula was simple: big engine, big grille, big badge. The new formula is different: quiet power, thoughtful design, digital intelligence, passenger comfort, safety confidence, and a cabin that feels like a retreat. And when you look at the SUV in motion, or imagine it parked in front of a modern mountain home under a blue sky, it starts to make sense. This is not trying to be a rugged off-roader. It is not trying to be a sports car on stilts. It is trying to be a premium space that moves beautifully through the world. That may be the most important part of the 2027 Genesis GV-100 story. It is not just a vehicle designed around driving. It is a vehicle designed around arriving, relaxing, connecting, and feeling in control. It is luxury for people who want the future but still want warmth, technology but still comfort, presence but still elegance. So is the GV-100 just another luxury SUV? No. At least in concept, it feels like something more meaningful. It feels like Genesis looking at the future and saying, we do not need to copy the segment. We can redefine what people expect from it. And if this is the direction Genesis is moving, then the GV-100 could become one of the most interesting luxury SUVs of the next generation. Not because it shouts the loudest, but because it understands what modern luxury is becoming: calm, smart, beautiful, comfortable, digital, and deeply personal. The 2027 Genesis GV-100 feels less like a normal model update and more like a glimpse into where premium SUVs are heading next. A machine that blends cinematic design with lounge-like comfort, futuristic technology with real-world usability, and quiet confidence with undeniable road presence. And maybe that is the real reason this SUV matters. It does not just show us what Genesis could build, it shows us what the future of luxury SUVs could feel like. If this GV-100 caught your attention, share your thoughts below. Would you choose a future Genesis flagship like this over the usual luxury names? And if you enjoy calm, detailed car analysis that goes deeper than the brochure, stay with the car analyst, because the future of cars is getting more interesting than ever.